Hi guys, my name's Live Mondo and welcome to the video. This is my very first Destiny diary. This is going to be a reoccurring video. I'm going to do one every week where we're going to discuss the state of play within Destiny for that week. Try and cover the topics that people are talking about. I've set the background to this video is my latest Nightfall. I wasn't going to do a standalone Nightfall because, well, it's been the Nightfall 3 times in the last 5 weeks, so why would I want to do another solo that's exactly the same perks as the modifiers as the last two that I done? But a guy that I played with that I didn't realise had been watching the videos actually pulled me up on the fact I hadn't done this one this week. And since it's the light level, the power levels went up, he wanted to know if there was any changes. So I've just put this as the backdrop to this video. I get 29 out of the 30 anomalies in here. The one I miss, I don't miss, I just don't go for it because my strategy, there's no need for me to go for it, is in the area with the two ogres. It's behind the first ogre that I shoot at. It's off the side of the walkway where there's a couple of knights and some acolytes. It's actually off the edge of that. So that's the 30th. I don't do a lot of commentary, guys, so I am going to take this opportunity just to throw a like out to everybody that supported me, supported the video, supported the content with likes and views and comments. You guys are amazing. You're the guys I do this stuff for. If you do like this video and you want to see more content like this, don't forget to throw a like, a subscribe, a comment. It's all love, it's all support, guys, and it's all greatly appreciated. You guys are the motivation. You guys are the motivation for me to do this stuff. If one person likes my content and learns something from it or picks something up, then my job is done. So thank you very much for all your support, guys, and I hope it keeps coming in the coming weeks and months. Now on to the video. What are we going to discuss in this video? Well, I don't script these videos because this is just me brainstorming. This is me talking about the events. I have thought about them at some length. I'm not just rambling. And the reason I made this is because, like most of you guys, I read stuff on the internet, I watch videos, but I've been reading this certain websites' views on Destiny as a whole, and one really got to me, and that's why I'm making this video. This is what I'm going to try and put to rest today, or shed some light on. Basically, the consensus in this piece that was written on this site. I won't name the site because I'm not gonna lower the tone of my video mentioning this trash establishment. That's my views on it. They are a complete nightmare. This guy who writes a lot of the pieces is supposed to be a gamer. I wouldn't run a Nightfall with him. Not if this is his opinions, because he's probably left his thumbs at home. That Osiris is the first DLC that is actually geared towards content that's locked behind a paywall. Now, just think about that for a second. Locked behind a paywall. How many of you guys think that? How many of you guys think that the content we've had in Destiny 2 is content we should have had in the game anyway? How many people have watched videos or content where the person making the video and the content has basically tried to say with some certainty that this stuff was supposed to be in the game, that they just took it away and are selling it back to us? All seen stuff like that, right? So a little thing about DLCs, I believe, right? Now, this is my belief, and I've been playing games for long enough that this has been something that's been happening in games for a while. They make a full set of content with the idea that they're making the DLC at the same time so that it all fits together at the end of the run. They're not making, in my opinion, in my understanding, they're not making a game and going, right, okay, we'll keep that by. They're making the game with the idea they're making the DLC at the same time. So to say that we've been shortchanged, yes, you are taking, people that are saying that are taking the idea that this content was made at the same time as the game, but they're misconstruing it to be that we've just had it held back. That isn't the way it works, is it? They make the DLC at the same time for continuity, so that it all fits together like a jigsaw, so that you're not getting DLC anymore, and you're saying that doesn't really match. That doesn't really match the main story. Well, what's this got to do with this, or what's that got to do with that? This is all The storylines are all knitting together, and they will all come together. So, but the idea of stuff being locked behind a paywall, what you're basically saying, you're not suggesting it. What you're saying is, being locked behind a paywall, the only way you can get this is if you buy it. Is it just me? Do any of you guys, leave a comment on this, guys. Do any of you, have any of you guys had any of the Season 2 Bright Engram rewards just from earning Bright Engrams? Now, we can talk about how much XP it costs to get a Bright Engram. In a loot-based game, we shouldn't really be talking about that. In a grind-heavy game, we shouldn't really be talking about that. Because that's the point of the game, is to grind for the stuff you want. If we're going to talk about the problems within Destiny, I don't think Osiris is one of them. I think Osiris doesn't fix any of the problems I never thought it could fix. It just give us more content, more stuff to do. So what did we actually get from the DLC? We got a patrollable area. Yes, it's not the biggest area, but it's not as tiny as people are saying. It's just a circle you run round. There's quite a bit to do there, I think. And it's a fun area. It's not the best area in the world, and it's not. If that was in the base game, I would be slightly annoyed. But the fact it's in a DLC, and it's the first DLC that's gave us a new patrollable area. Now, bearing in mind, the Taken King and the Rise of Iron from Destiny 1 were expansions. They want what you would class as paid DLCs. DLCs are Crota's End, House of Wolves. They were the two paid DLCs we had in Destiny. So, will Destiny 2 follow Destiny, where the first year will be paid DLCs, then you'll have an expansion at the end of the year and you'll have free content during the year? I don't know. I just know the two paid DLCs we've had gave us nowhere near. In fact, both of those together probably gave us the same amount of content we got in Osiris for 17 quid. I don't see where the issue is. The stuff probably was made with the base game, but always as a view to be released as DLC, so that it fitted the aesthetic, fitted the story, fitted the aesthetic of the game. And look at a number of you have probably seen Pirates of the Caribbean. Parts 2 and 3 of Pirates of the Caribbean were filmed as one film. Nobody came out and said, "Oh, that's rubbish. They've cut half the film away. We're not getting the full film." It was made like that, so for continuity. That's where the DLCs have been made. And it seems to me, maybe I'm getting it wrong, maybe I'm missing something, and I possibly could. If I am, guys, again, leave it in the comment section. We can get a conversation started about this. Maybe I'm missing the view, but the viewpoint seems to me that Eververse is the devil, right? Now, yeah, I can understand. I can understand why people would be thinking that, because, this is content we should be able to get by grinding. Well, I have everything from Season 1 and I never bought any silver. I never bought a package whatsoever. It's not locked behind paywall, because you can earn it from playing. You've got to grind for it, but that's the point, isn't it? Is that not what we've been moaning about, not having enough stuff to grind for? I think this sensationalist, one big YouTuber actually come out and said that Destiny 2 is a scam, and how he'd been quiet and rubbish. You're fishing for views. That's what you're doing. Talking about paid content being a scam on a video that you monetize. Come on. I'm sorry. I don't want. The last thing I ever really want to do is pull up other people for their content, because we all watch the content. But some people's content over the past couple of weeks has been shocking. Some of the allegations that have been made, some of the attempts to, but it's working. And that's why this is why I'm making this video. Is about setting it straight, I believe, putting my tuppence worth. I'm a Destiny 1 player, Destiny 2 player. I believe I'm in a high bracket of player. I'm not the greatest player, there are better players, but I'm solo in Nightfalls. I've solo raids, I'm doing everything within the game solo. I just don't make videos about everything. And I believe some of the people that are having opinions that aren't even the best players. And should that be a case? Is that elitism? Maybe it is. But if you want, would you ask someone that wasn't the best carpenter to make you a door? Would you ask somebody that wasn't the best painter and decorator to give you advice on how to paint and decorate your house? No, you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't, because you want someone with the experience. So I think what I'm trying to say, and maybe this is possibly the worst thing I could say, there are a lot of content creators out there that do a damn good job. They make brilliant content for the community. They really support this community. There are some, I think, that are, they should maybe switch jobs maybe. The content is sensationalism. There's no evidence. There's nothing to support it. They are just fishing for views, and I don't like that. You're misleading the community. We've seen it happen before. It has happened before. Xbox took an absolute smashing at the first E3 because the information they gave out wrong. They never gave the right information out, and it caused a knee-jerk reaction within the community to the point where Xbox changed a lot of the systems. But it was because people just didn't understand that stuff like you could unplug the Kinect. It wouldn't stay on all the time. It's just Xbox didn't actually say that. And I think that's what's happening now. There's a knee-jerk reaction. There's people jumping on the bandwagon. Destiny 2 isn't dead. It has lost a number of players. Yes. Don't all games? I think The Division, which still has a lot of people playing it, is in the top 3 games for most players lost within the first 4 weeks. I don't think Destiny's anywhere near that. And yet, The Division's still going strong. Destiny's still going strong. But the problems exist not with this DLC, not with paid content, not with stuff locked. I can't believe I'm actually saying that again. It really does. It frustrates me that much that somebody actually wrote a full post on Osiris being the first DLC to be focused on microtransactions. What a load of rubbish. All the content you get with it, and they can still say that because of a couple of emotes, 3 emotes, some ghosts and some ships. Yes, they are highly sought after, but they are vanity items. How can a full DLC be focused towards 10 pieces of vanity item? When you say it like that, you guys that are listening to this, when you say it like that, does it not make you think, there is a bit of a kick in a dog when it's down, because it's newsworthy. The problems with Destiny are the problems that have been in Destiny 2 since it released. Rerollable, random perks on weapons, kill time in Crucible, 4v4 game mode back to 6v6, making the prestigious events prestigious again. So trials, I'm not saying take it back to 3v3, although it would be good. But I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting making that an Iron Banner light level required. It's almost like its own entrance fee. You've got to be the right light level. And the higher light level you are, the better you'll do. Yes, it locks some people out, but it gives people a reason to grind to get. All these things, you couple all these things, Grimoire, collectibles. You give people reason to go and play the game that wasn't a pre-designed route, like milestones. I mean, once your milestones are done, you could. There's a lot of people that probably switch off of Destiny to another game until Tuesday. Now, that is, I believe, the plan, to keep people coming back on a weekly basis. It never worked because the milestones gave out too much stuff, and people got to max light really quickly. It's the actual mechanics within the base game. This DLC is operating on those mechanics. So it's just, instead of being the triumphant return to form that it should have been, could have been, what it actually is it's just highlighted the problems within Destiny. Masterworks is another good addition. I think a lot of the things in Osiris were a good addition, to be fair, apart from the strikes. Why would you have strikes as story missions? Why would you have that? They don't feel like strikes now. Anytime I do them as a strike, I'm like, oh yeah, this is this Osiris storyline. This is the story mission that they've just thrown in as a strike joke. Although the original strike, the Pyramidium, Savathan or Savanthan's song, the one that's playing in the background here, just while I'm watching this, I can't survive this. Why can't I survive this part? This is a joke. I've got my mobility up decent. Why can't I survive this part? Anyway, this isn't a tactical suicide. I've had tactical suicides in this Nightfall. This is not one of them. It's the only way I'm getting past this part. Tactical suicides is in the big open area with the two ogres. I just go and take the second ogre out and normally die when I'm doing it, but it's quicker than trying to take all the ads out. Tactical suicide is on the first time you slam the Shrieker. It's 50-50 whether I survive that, because the knight can go and hide and you can't take him down if you're doing it solo all the time. And then the last tactical suicide can sometimes be what used to be when I was slamming the boss Shrieker, but I seem to have worked a way around that now. So as you can see here, I just wait for this one to stop shooting. Stop shooting, and then I just get melted. I can't survive that. So anyway, the Osiris DLC is a very good addition. It just couldn't fix everything. That's the problem. It just couldn't fix the problems that it was never meant to fix. Nothing's locked behind paywalls. Random perks, as we've said, Grimoire, all that type of stuff, reasons to play it out with, because I think that's what I was saying before I digressed into the Nightfall. I don't think so many people reached max light, a lot quicker than Bungie anticipated, and that created a problem, because then once you hit max light, people are like, what do I do next? They have made strides this week. They've 3 of Coins, Fated Engrams, Masterworks. These are all great additions to the game, and if you just think about this for a second, just think about this. If you had random rolls on weapons, 6v6, trials and banner were light level required, you could choose the game mode, and you had a few more game modes. You had Grimoire, you had Ghost. Nobody would be talking about how bad this DLC is. But it's because those things don't exist, and we had 3 years of them. Another thing people aren't talking about. Nobody's really saying this. The reason why we're saying there's not a lot to do within Destiny 2 is how much there was to do in Destiny 1 Year 3. I mean, we had, 4 raids? 4 raids. We had the book, The Age of Triumph. Anybody that started in Destiny Year 3 had 3 relatively big campaigns to go through to get to that point, and there was 78 to 100 exotics, which I'm also going to add this in. We did have a lot of exotics, but we had exotic swords. What are they doing with the swords? I mean, for Christ's sake, we've got 3 exotic grenade launchers, and the only time I can see them being used on a regular basis is when people are trying to solo the chests in the underbelly of the Leviathan, and then they're going to use the Prospector. Which, may I add, is decent to use, but every time I've done it, I've used Golden Gun. 6-shot Golden Gun, rocket the first one, Golden Gun the next 3. It works just as well. So, yeah, I think they're making good strides. I don't think Destiny is in the place that people are saying it is. As I say, I do get really frustrated when I see content creators trying to convince people, you've all been brainwashed. Where do they get away with saying that? Where does anybody get away with saying that? You go into forums, and now you see on forums people just getting sick and tired of the salt and wanting a forum where they can go on and speak about the game, which brings me nicely to it. On the Facebook page, I've started a Destiny community, a Temple of Lost Light community. If you want somewhere you can go, speak about the game, get some interesting conversation going, intelligent conversation, without the salt constantly coming in, why not join? Let's make this community somewhere where people can go and be proud to be. I'll definitely keep the conversations going. But as I say, it's an option for you guys. Any of you guys that are members of communities will see that there's always a bunch of people that come on that don't even play the game, that just want to stick the boot in, because And that's what it seems like. That's what this whole video is about. It seems like people are kicking Destiny when they perceive it to be down. And they're making more reasons for people to dislike this game. I think it's disgusting to see content creators who rely on monetization for their videos talking about how it's not right for people to have to pay for stuff that should be free. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's double standards, but it's clickbait. Don't be drawn in by it. Make your own decisions. Find out the information, and try and get to the root of your own disgruntlement, your own dissatisfaction with the game. Is it because this content isn't good enough, or is it because the content that was in Destiny never gave you what you thought it was going to give you, never gave you what you wanted? And have I touched upon those things? Is it the random rolls? Is it Crucible? Is it that weapons, there's not enough diversity in the weapons? Is it because Trials doesn't feel prestigious enough? Is it because Iron Banner doesn't feel the same? I believe the story missions in Destiny 2 were pretty good. The storyline was pretty good. It added a different aesthetic. It added a whole different environment for us to play within. I just believe the systems that were in place after that weren't so good. And another thing that I will say, and I don't think the exotics were exotic enough. I was very, 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 very happy and very sad at the same time. Yesterday I got the Helm of Saint 14, my favourite piece of exotic armour. I used to use that on Striker Titan. Right? I just loved it. But I was very sad that my new favourite piece of exotic armour within Destiny 2 is for a subclass I'm not really going to use anywhere except for Crucible, and it's not going to be any good to me, and B is a Destiny 1 exotic. So Destiny 2 exotics, I mean, what exotics in Destiny 2 would go into Destiny 1? What would have made the grade? Warcliffe. I reckon the Warcliffe would have. We all know the Juby's Folly, which was its previous name, was supposed to be in the game, but I think that would have got in. Would the Risk Runner have made it in? I mean, I know people are saying the Zalo, but this is an SMG, and it does something slightly different to the Zalo. But yeah, it's kind of Zalo's little brother, innit? Sunshot. I think Sunshot would have made it in. A very good addition. Lovely hand cannon, and what it does well. What else would have made it in? The Legend of Acurius. Man, can you imagine that in Destiny 1? What Destiny 2 exotics? What Destiny 1 exotics? Because they're going to do it. They're going to bring more back. What would you like to see come back? I have two that I would really like to see come back. And I think because of the environment we are in Destiny 2, they would fit in perfectly. And I know somebody's going to say Galahorn. I think secretly, we'll all say, no, you don't do that. But secretly, most people would be like, I'd want that. We would want it, but maybe not such a good idea. I'm quite surprised that there's only one rocket launcher, exotic rocket launcher, the Wardcliffe. Quite surprised by that. I would like to see the Sleeper Simulant come back. I think that'd be a great addition to the Destiny 2 exotic weapons pool. Just on that, I think the Merciless would have made it into Destiny. That's a good weapon as well. So what would you like to see come back? Monte Carlo, maybe? You'd like to see a bit of Monte Carlo? One thing I would like, and I think there's a lot of scope here for story missions. There's a lot of scope here for lore. I would like to see some of the iconic legendary weapons maybe come back as exotics. The Fatebringer. I know it was an exotic. Bring the Fatebringer back. I'm not saying bring the Fatebringer back. I mean weapons like that. Found Verdict, Fang of our Ute, Palindrome, 1,000-Yard Stare, Aphrodite Spear, all these type of iconic weapons from Destiny. And some of these, I mean, there's a lot more. Can you imagine Crucible with some of these, some of these weapons brought back? What pieces of armor would you like to see brought back? Is there anything that's not in the game that you wish was in the game? You know, is there a place for the Twilight Garrison? Titan Skating's gone, so is there a place for it? And I'm really, I've got a weapon in my head. I just can't remember what it was called. Some of you guys know the weapon I'm talking about. Destiny 1 diehards. The Trials of Osiris auto rifle. Imagine that came back. What would Crucible be like with that weapon? And I can't remember what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue as well. Leave a comment if you remember the name of the auto rifle. That would be amazing. I actually was speaking to somebody before Osiris came out, before Destiny 2 came out. We knew there was going to be an Osiris DLC. I was actually convinced they were going to bring, once I seen what Trials was like, I thought that the 3v3 light level required, I thought they would bring that back. I thought Trials of the Nine was like the tester for proper Trials of Osiris, and it didn't work. It didn't happen, you know. So there's still scope for it. But yeah, I actually teased it. Wouldn't it be good if they brought a Trials Exotic back, and then it seemed like the Vigilance Wing was their version of a Trials Exotic. I personally would love to. One of my favourite weapons in Destiny was the Nurwin's Mercy. I would like to see something like that. Never going to happen. But yeah, that has been my talk over. I believe that Destiny 2 is still it has some changes. We know they're working on changes. You know, the Masterworks and stuff like that they're steps in the right direction. Masterworks armor, which has been hinted by the game's director, is also a very good step in the right direction. I'm not sure how that would work, but I'd be interested to see. And we are going the right direction, guys. You know, the content that we have is pretty decent. It's not the worst content. We just need the base systems to change. And when they change, then we'll see the content in the light that you know, we'll judge it for its own merits, because we'll be happy with the base game. But don't believe anybody that tells you, and this is coming from your old friend Live Mondo, don't believe anybody that tries to tell you this game is just a scam, because it's not. Do your own research and unfollow those people immediately. I have been Live Mondo, guys. I have loved speaking with you. This is episode 1 of Destiny Diary, Live Mondo's Destiny Diary. If you've enjoyed it, you know the drill. Your support is always appreciated. And yes, now that my character is backflipped off the plate, I will leave it at that. You guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.